Your audio is taken from where? From the camera or from that end? Your sound is taken, is being recorded where? On the I'm reducing the speed.
Hi viewers, welcome to another edition of Health Talk series on O Health NG. We are glad to be here this week and we have an interesting topic we will be discussing this week. We'll be discussing blood pressure and our daily life. I'm not alone this week. I have with me Dr. Cecilia Amoshika, Team Lead Jirafa Hospital. So she'll be doing justice to this topic. You're welcome to the show, ma.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. It's my pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll be starting just immediately. Like I told us earlier, we're discussing blood pressure and our daily life. So, ma, many things are flying around. So, we don't want to assume that people know the definition of the heart. Among the youth, you hear things like, oh, you broke my heart.
Oh.
She broke my heart. My heart is melting. My heart
Yes.
is on. So, we'd like you to tell us, ma, the unique functions of the heart.
Okay, thank you. Um, the heart is uh, is the main organ that keeps us alive among all others, and it's situated in the left side of our heart. Our heart is just like the size of our fist, and it works every second of our lifetime.
Mhm.
The functions of a heart are many. The heart actually serves as like a recycler of what we need to survive. The heart pumps blood, oxygenated blood that is useful, from the left side of the heart to the whole body, right? And when this blood is spent, when the good things in the blood have been used, the used spent blood, which is deoxygenated, goes back to the heart. The heart will receive it. Then the heart will now pump it to the lungs to get some new life, to get oxygen.
Mm.
And after getting oxygen, it returns to the other side of the heart again, and the heart will recycle it, pump it to go right through our whole body, the brain, the organs. It pumps blood out. In the process of pumping the blood out, it circulates the hormones and other essential chemicals that we need for all the metabolisms in our body. There are secretions of enzymes, digestive stuff, and all that. So it is the blood that we take all this around. And while metabolism is going on in our body, the body produces waste products. These waste products don't stay where they are, otherwise we'll be dead. So it's the blood that will carry this waste product around to where it's going to be excreted. The ones that the liver will excrete, the ones that the kidney will excrete. So the blood, the heart keeps us functioning and keeps our system pure
Yeah.
and effective. That is, those are the main functions
Functions
of the heart.
Wow, thank you so
So
much.
when you have a heart attack, you are gone. So don't have a heart attack, please.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. So
Thank
it's
you.
better not to assume. Thank you for shedding light on what the heart really does, the functions of the heart. So I want to believe our viewers at home are learning. So sit back and keep learning. She just told us what the functions of the heart is. So it's not the heart of I break my heart to break my heart. No, it's a major organ for our daily life. So that takes me to the next question. I haven't known the unique functions of the heart that you just told us now. What are the habits or the actions that we can do that can alter these functions, ma'am?
Thank you very much. We can see that the heart works every second of our lifetime. You know, you can hold your breath
Hmm.
and refuse to breathe for a minute. You're not going to die. But our hearts cannot afford to
Mm.
stop working. So it is very, very important for us to know what to do and to do it. Number one, the heart pumps blood. It needs fluid, right?
Yes.
So, number one, we need to drink sufficient water,
Wow.
right? Water is the most important substance to keep our hearts working,
Okay.
apart from other organs of the body, so that the blood is not too thick. We need sufficient water. Every adult must drink at least 3 liters of water a day. Apart from water, we need to have good nutrition
Mm.
with fruits and vegetables and some carbohydrates. And then we also need to know that, the heart works with the blood vessels, right?
Yes.
It recycles everything we need through the blood vessels, the arteries, and it receives the waste and the spent blood through the blood vessels called the veins, right? Now, anything that injures these blood vessels injure the heart. We need to watch what we eat. We need to eat less oily things. We need to avoid fried foods as much as possible. Actually, a healthy adult needs only teaspoons of oil a day. A day, right? 5 teaspoons of oil a day. So we need to actually avoid eating a lot of oil by avoiding fried foods. We also need to reduce the salt that we eat. Why do we have to reduce the oil that we eat? Because when we eat more than what is required, the excess deposits in our blood vessels. Mind you, the heart also has its own blood vessels because the heart has to keep working. So the heart has to supply itself oxygen, carried in the blood from its own arteries, right? So when we're taking a lot of fat, the excess fat starts to deposit on our um, blood vessels. And as they deposit, they narrow the space that is required for blood to flow. And when that happens, we put a stress on the heart itself. So, less oil, less salt, a lot of water. Then, apart from this lifestyle thing, there are other lifestyle issues that we can adopt that damage our hearts. Smoking is one of them. Taking excessive alcohol is another. Then the emotional issues of anger, anxiety, and clogging our lives with more than we can do in 24 hours. The heart, when you're working, the heart beats faster. Just give it a try and see. Like if you run if you run like half a kilometer, you start your heart will start beating faster. So when the heart has worked for some hours, we need to close our eyes and sleep. Because when we sleep, our body rests and the heart can slow rest. The heart cannot stop working, but it needs time to slow down so that it can rejuvenate itself. So working 2024 is too much for the heart. So we need to sleep. 8 hours minimum
Minimum.
a day, you know. So we need to get things balanced.
Balance.
This heart
Mm.
has to pump every second of your life. If you want to live 90,
Mm.
imagine
Mm.
that's a lot of work for the heart
Yeah.
to do. And the heart pumps the average the average person about 72 to 80 beats every minute.
Wow.
So we mean the heart beats more than once in a second,
Second.
right? So, and the heart is very faithful. It's working to keep us alive. So we need to also plan our life in a way that the heart can slow down a bit
Yeah.
when we sleep.
Oh.
And anger makes it worse.
Mm.
Getting angry, getting disappointed, just keep running and going. When you go, you must,
Always come back.
yes. And then sitting for too long,
Okay.
not exercising enough. The kind of work we do these days, we all work on the table. We can sit down from 8 to 5. It's not too good for the heart because the vessels are not returning sufficient blood when we just sit in one place. So we need to get up in between, take a stroll, come back. We need to exercise. We need to be active. Movement keeps the heart stronger. But being sedentary,
Yes, lifestyle.
it's a negative. It has a negative effect on the heart.
Thank you so much, Ma. I think I like the fact that you said we need to be, the heart is faithful to us.
Yes.
So we need to be faithful to
We
our
need to be
heart.
faithful.
So viewers back home, for you to be faithful to your heart, please do all that Dr. Cecilia just told us. Good sleep, water, good nutrition, and all that she had mentioned. And the sedentary lifestyle, please let us be physically active, yes. Yeah, so that takes me to the next question, ma'am. There is saying that laughter is the best medicine that was said by Professor Henry de Mondeville in the 1300s. Professor of surgery that said laughter is the best medicine. So, does it have any significant benefit to the heart?
Right. Okay. Just look at it. When somebody gives you a smile, how do you feel?
Yeah, it's
Right?
welcoming.
She's giving me a smile now, and it makes me smile back. So a smile is good for the mind, and a smile is good for the heart.
Okay.
Now, when a smile shows positive emotion, it shows joy, gladness. It shows appreciation. These positive emotions, they release the positive hormones, the endorphins. The endorphins relax the blood vessels.
Oh.
We have talked about the blood vessels and the heart. When the blood vessels are relaxed, the heart can pump blood freely.
Really, wow.
Unlike when you frown, when you're angry, when you're anxious, the blood vessels, the blood vessels have muscles. The heart itself is a smooth muscle, strong, thick, ready to keep you going. The blood vessels do have that. So when you're angry and anxious, you can imagine even your veins, your arteries will show up. You feel a headache because the blood vessels have the muscles are contracted, and the lumen, the space inside has reduced. So when you do that, the heart will need to work harder, against that force. So you are making the heart to work too hard. And if you do that persistently, it's like it's like trying to kick against a force that is not giving way. You keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it. When you get to a point, you get exhausted.
Wow.
And you have to give up. So that's what happens to the heart when we stretch the heart. So we need to look for things that will make us laugh.
Okay.
We need to look for things to appreciate. We need to generate it that will make us laugh actually.
Okay.
When you see somebody beautiful like you,
Thank you.
beautiful face, I like your face. You smile at the person, your vessels relax. When you go out to see nice flowers, I like this flower. Your vessels will relax, your heart will be good. So laughter is actually the best medicine, and water is the best drink.
Wow, I think I like that. Laughter is the best medicine, and water is the best drink. I take home from this. So people, let's always laugh. At least in a day, make sure you don't end up that day without smiling or laughing. Just like she has said. So it helps relax the muscle, it helps relax the heart muscles rather, and it helps relax the blood vessels. Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. So Another question for you, ma'am. So high blood pressure, heart failures, come on. But I realized that young people are coming down with this. Recent studies even said that between 20 and 40 years, people have 1 out of 8 people, 8 youth, young people coming down with hypertension. So I'm wondering what's happening. What are we doing wrong? Why these increasing figures?
Yes, it's so sad, really. In about 50 years ago, when you talk about hypertension, you're thinking of people who are 40, 50. But now, from the age of 20, we're seeing people who are hypertensive.
Hmm.
And it's because of the change
Hmm.
in our lifestyle.
Lifestyle, wow.
50 years ago, for instance, we all eat from our kitchen.
Hmm.
We eat from our kitchen, little eba, little yam, and stuff like that. But now, many young people don't eat from their kitchen.
Wow.
They eat fast foods. And even when we eat in the kitchen, we're not eating food from the farm. We're eating packaged food,
Hmm.
fast ones, quickly do Indomie, and we are frying everything,
Hmm.
So young people like fried foods because they're tasty.
Hmm.
And parents also like to give their young children fast food because they don't
Wow.
have the time
Time.
to cook for them. We
Hmm.
do a quick indomie, we do a quick pancake, we quickly fry
Right.
dodo
Right.
instead of making time to cook real
Hmm.
food. All these oily things, go and cheese balls. When the
Hmm.
child is crying, you say, "Yeah, take cheese
Hmm.
ball." All these oily things that we are giving the children right in infancy accumulates this fat into their blood vessels
Wow.
and clogs their vessels. So
Hmm.
by the time a child is 20, who had been taking a lot of fatty things from age of 1, that child, the blood vessels are just as old as 50
Wow.
years. They're already getting clogged and
Hmm.
hypertension will set in.
Wow.
So that's a very important reason why that is happening. Plus the fact that in those days we trek to school. you
Hmm.
know if your school is 2 bus stops away, you're going to walk there. And if it's farther than that, you're going to walk to the junction to pick a bus. But now our parents will carry us to school, and those whose parents don't have a car, there's okada
Mhm.
right at the door to take you to school and to bring you back. So children are not working, you understand? Children are not working, and children are not eating right. So everything leads to early onset of hypertension.
Mm.
And we need to work at reversing this. In developed countries, they're actually working at reversing this, and we need to start to do that. Like they have advocated that winning diet for kids from the age of 5 months must be fruits and vegetables.
Food, wow.
That's the advocacy is going on. In time past, even overseas, children don't like to eat vegetables, but now it will amaze you that if you ask them what they want, they'll tell you they want lettuce, they want cabbage,
Wow.
and all that. So we need to also adopt that for us to stop the trend, and taking too much sugar, sugary things, pastry, Indomie. Not Indomie, I'm sorry. That's a brand. I mean,
Noodles.
um, pasta,
Yeah.
things that are refined. Eating yam, gari, plantain, things that come from the farm are the healthy thing for our children and for us.
Wow. Yeah, I think.
I mean, plus smoking, drinking,
Yeah, it's one of
all
those things
those
that actually
things. Yes.
contributed to this figures we are seeing
Yes,
increasing.
yes. And there's a lot of stress on young people.
Okay.
In those days, you go to school and close at 2, and then you play till 5 and do your homework and sleep. But now they go to school till 6. Actually, this is a bad trend,
Mm.
which the system has to correct. Our children are stressed. They are not playing, so they're not releasing a lot of the positive emotions. Even when they stay back in school, they're playing football, basketball, netball, they're doing girl guide, boy scout, they're playing, singing. Yes, they're going to be releasing the positive emotions. But we put them under stress. They're doing lessons which they don't want to do. So they release stress hormones right from very early in their ages. We need to work against this.
Thank you so much, Ma. I believe our viewers are learning from all of these points, and I'm glad you say that we need to adopt what the Western world are doing to stop to we need to be for more of vegetables and fruits. and also the educational system to be worked on, where you don't have to put too much stress on these children. Let them release more of these positive emotions. Wow, thank you so much, ma'am. So, what are the early signs or red flags that spawns up when something is wrong with the heart? What do we look out for to say yes,
Okay.
something is wrong with the heart?
Now, the bad thing about hypertension is that it doesn't give any symptoms or
Mm,
sign very early.
mm,
And the reason is because the heart has a lot of excess capacity. When God created us, he was very kind to us. He gave us the ability, the resilience to withstand stress, you know. So when the blood pressure starts to go up, it does nothing. It causes no problems. But it's damaging the organs though,
mm,
but you don't know anything. By the time it causes definite damage, then we start to have signs and symptoms like a headache,
mm.
even when you are not exhausted and you are not hungry.
Hungry.
You have a persistent headache. Another symptom is by the time the heart itself is getting affected, before the heart gets affected, when it's just the blood vessels, you don't have any chest pain. But by the time the blood vessels supplying the heart are getting affected, then there's a left-sided chest pain. It's dull, not sharp. Feel that dull pain there. Sometimes feel heaviness in the middle of your chest,
Yeah.
as if there's a hard rock there, or as if something same. They've tied your chest
Wow.
like that. By the time one starts to feel that kind of symptoms, it means that part of the heart is already getting, it's starting to die slowly. It is getting a bit gangrenous. So, number one, we should not look for any sign or symptom. Everybody from the age of 20 should check their blood pressure at least once every 3 months if it's normal. Just continue to check it, right? Because that's the early detection can be treated promptly, and then you can adopt a change in your lifestyle. But by the time you start to have chest pain, the blood pressure might be really very, very high. And sometimes when the heart uh, is not affected early, the kidneys could be affected. Because when the blood pressure goes up, it damages the organs that have very few blood vessels. Like the kidneys have just one artery.
Mm,
Artery is the one that carries the unspent blood, the oxygenated that has oxygen to the kidneys. Have just one blood vessel. When you now narrow it, it's not getting enough blood to function. Then kidney failure will start gradually. And you're not going to know on time that you have kidney failure until it has advanced. The eye also has just one blood vessel that goes to it. Right? If you get narrowed and blood doesn't go in, it can cause blindness. Then the brain, there are two major vessels, one to this side and one to the other side, that go to the brain. When these ones are getting clogged and the other ones within the brain,
mm,
when they're getting clogged, right, it gets to a point where it could break, or it could break or block, and one have a stroke. We don't need to wait for those things.
mm,
And when the one in the heart gives warning and we don't hit the warning, and a major vessel there decides to lock up, then there's a sudden heart
mm.
attack. And we say that there was nothing wrong with this person.
Just-
Just a yeah in my chest.
Mm.
And then the person slumps and dies.
Not knowing that
We do not want any sign of
symptoms.
symptoms. Check your blood pressure regularly. Check your blood sugar also regularly, because blood pressure and diabetes, they are Siamese twins. They are not good twins at all. So, and watch your lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Wow, thank you very much, ma'am. So all these stories you hear, he just woke up and the next thing he fell down and cardiac arrest. So it's not like it just happened. Maybe you have
No,
not been
it's been
checking
there
it.
for 10 years,
Wow.
15, 20 years,
And
before that
silence
happened.
there.
Very
Mm.
silent. You
Mm.
do not know anything is happening.
Wow. So viewers out there, please check your blood pressure at least once in 3 months to be sure that it's normal. A quick one now, what's the blood pressure level? What should they look out for when checking for
Okay.
blood pressure?
A normal blood pressure in an adult is taken to be 120/80.
Okay.
That's the high, the peak of it. It can actually vary. But the human body is dynamic, right? The normal blood pressure can be, for some people, it can be like 90/60, 90/70, 100 over, so anything between, we'll say like 90/60 to 120/80, we're going to take to be normal,
Normal. Okay.
right? By the time one is getting 120/90, that is beginning to be high. But if, for instance, one has been monitoring one's blood pressure and your normal blood pressure is 100/60, and I now get 120/80, I know that this person's blood pressure is already going up. That is why it's important for you to know your numbers. You must know your blood pressure. It's your heart, it's your life. You must know your blood pressure. You know what is normal, and when it's going up, you let us know quickly. The blood pressure is not the same morning, afternoon, and night, because we're very dynamic. We sleep, we wake, we run. So, slight variation in that is all right. Then the pulse rate, so the average is 72, but it can range from 60 to 90. Like sports people, those who are doing sports, their hearts are very strong. It doesn't have to work so hard. So their pulse rate could be like 60, because they have made their heart strong and their blood vessels are good. So it will pump like 60 times. But some of us who are lazy bones, your heart may have to pump like 88 times to give you your oxygen. So this is the importance of exercise. The more exercise you do, the less your heart will need to work to keep you going. But if you are a lazy bone who sleeps all the time,
and doesn't exercise,
your heart will have to work harder.
Like
88 times, 90 times a minute to give you enough energy to keep you alive.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. It's really been an educative show this week, and we believe that you've learned so many things, Ma. So I'll be giving Dr. Cecilia the opportunity to give us her last words. What's your advice, recommendation, just to cap it off, Ma?
Yes. Now, my advice is that if we have a target for our lives, we have a target. I want to live like 110 years, maybe. Can my heart take me that long? So I need to set a goal for my lifestyle. I'm not going to continue to do what I do that will not keep my heart going for that length of time. I like sweet things, isn't it? I like to fry dodo. So I need to tell myself that instead of frying my dodo, I'm going to roast it. I like fried chicken, very tasty. But I have to adopt a new method of cooking my chicken. Peel off the skin, roast it, let most of the oil drop out before I put it in my stew. And we also like to fry stew, and you have oil rolling on it. That is not going to keep me living for 90 years. It may not keep me living for 90 years. So I'm going to put very little oil in my stew, and I'm not going to take the excess on the oil. So we all need to talk to our family. It's a family thing, right? Like I said, it starts from childhood, building up. So we need to have a family round table around our health. How to keep our health, our hearts healthy. Your heart needs you, and you need your heart. Your heart will be faithful to you for 120 years, if that's your target, right? But what you eat, what you drink, what you smoke, and how much laughter you give to other people. Because you have to give laughter away.
Yeah, so that you can get it as well.
You have to give it away. So try to give away laughter. Give a laughter to your husband, your wife, right? Your children. Those are the people that we usually don't even give our laughter to. We give it to people outside. But let's just start from home. Charity begins at home.